Cloud Imperium has given us a big Star Citizen ship development update. We have a few more details on the Odyssey and where it sits on the exploration pantheon. The Banu merchantman is in active development, as are many other ships. Let's jump right in and start with some vehicle and ship updates. The vehicle content teams are currently working on the Hull A and Hull C, those mini and mighty, respectively, expandable cargo haulers. They are being brought up to current standards and metrics as part of the incoming cargo overhaul as well, and ready for their release into the game. The Hull A is in its final art exterior and grey box interior phases. The Hull C is much further along and in its final art and lighting passes, so we should be seeing those Q1, Q2 of next year. With the Hull C, they're even experimenting at the moment with some UIs and displays for tractor beams. They're using the building block system for this. They're going to use this for like all their UIs and MFDs and displays and all that sort of jazz. But assumedly, these will also be pushed onto other ships that will have tractor beams too. And with that in mind, the weapon content team has begun building out the tractor beam components for actual ships. So at the moment, they're doing size 1 to 3 units, and they're going to be equipable on a wide range of ships and vehicles. And obviously, we've got tractor beams in game at the moment with the sort of multi-tool tractor beam, but this will expand out to ships and vehicles to use them too. Updates are underway to the Starfarer. It's going to be the first refueling ship in game. I mean, it's in game already, but it's going to be able to use those refueling mechanics, assumedly, in Alpha 3.17. But also, they went, it's the first refining vehicle in game as well. It gets fuel, it refines fuel, it then refuels you, and they've made additions to the Starfarer's walkway to allow it to take canisters of newly mined fuel from other ships or whatever to then be processed. So there is more and more of an indication that the Starfarer won't be doing much in the way of mining itself, but it's more of a refueling and refining ship. Now, there may be some gas harvesting and stuff it can do, but we'll have to wait and see what Cloud Imperium say about that in the future. They did also say that they will be updating the interior in the future too, but they need to slot it into their schedule, and that's not something that's going to be in the very near future. The Drake Vulture light salvage ship has seen a lot of work, and it's in its final art phase. So they showed the habitation area and cockpit. We are looking forward to seeing this ship and it having some form of its salvage sort of gameplay there in Alpha 3.18 at the moment, Q2 2022. The Scorpius Heavy Fighter has begun development and it's in its early white box phase. Work is apparently going well, which is good because it's supposed to be out for Alpha 3.17 at the end of March. The Banu merchantman is now in active development and in its white box phase. Admittedly, it's really early white box phase, but the fact that it's being worked on now means that it could actually come out in 2022. They try to take ships as far as they can without stopping if possible now, as part of their sort of pipeline. They don't like having to pause ships like they did with Taurus a million times, things like that. So they then did show off more of the areas of the ship that had seen some white box work, more than just like a really rough block of the exterior of the ship. The engineering area might have some movement and whirliness to it too. We saw sort of like bits of engines or machinery sort of going clockwise, counterclockwise to each other, and it looking pretty cool. But is there too much going on? These things are tested in these phases as well, so we might not actually see this look exactly like this in the future. We had some various coloured misc rafts shown at the end of Inside Star Citizen as well, that then formed Rafttron with a Pico head. And I'm not even joking, they just did a silly thing at the end of Inside Star Citizen. There is going to be a Star Citizen live today, and that's going to cover sort of all your ship and Intergalactic Aerospace Expo questions. So if you want to ask about sales, you want to ask about ships, you want to ask about the Odyssey, whatever, then's the time to do it. That's later today on the Star Citizen Twitch. Next week, they're going to have more details on Jumptown and Gravlev updates as part of Inside Star Citizen, so that will actually be really good to see. Now, let's move on to some more details and reiterations about the MISC concept exploration ship, the Odyssey. And there's been a bit of drama and concern about CIG selling this and how it stacks up against the Carrack. So some of these questions have been answered a little bit. There's still a lot more questions that can be answered, but we are still waiting on a Q&A and a Star Citizen Live. So I'll read you this, and I'll read you the silly email that was sent, which does help to sort of explain this a bit. The Odyssey will be able to explore out to the far expanses of the universe and keep going. That is its sort of main exploration focus. Its ability to not have to come back to base. It just keep on going. It will appeal to players that want to probably avoid traditional combat so much. It's not a warship, it's not a combat ship, though it does have a reasonable amount of defense. It's not sort of, yeah, let's go blow up a pirate base. It's not going to be able to do that. It's designed to allow you to go off and explore. There is some Xi'an tech for the ship, so the elevator that sort of like allows for entry and exit to the ship, and that's all sort of magnetic and grav-lev and sort of builds itself as it needs to, and that sort of theme is going to be used where possible around the ship, because they like to sort of have Xi'an tech mixed in with MISC stuff. The top of the ship opens up and folds away to allow for access to a hangar, and that hangar is actually reasonably large, and we'll talk more about that in a second. The ship is split over 3 decks. The top deck is engineering and refining sort of access. The middle or main deck has the bridge. It actually looks to have 6 stations in the bridge, leading me to believe that the ship can actually take a lot more crew than 6 or 7. In fact, I'd say from looking at the ship, it's probably one for like 8 crew. That's sort of like what it appears to be to me at the moment. There is a hollow or mapping table in the bridge as well. Every crewman is supposed to have their own room and ensuite, although I can't actually discern exactly how many crew quarters there are, because that would give you a more definitive, this is how many crew it can support, because that's how many the life support systems support. The lower deck has the hangar, which is pretty large. The Sabre fits in there easily and has a good amount of room left. You could also like bring a Prospector or a huge range of other ships if you wanted to as well here. And we don't have the full range of ships that fit in there because we don't have the metrics yet, but hopefully Cloud Imperium will tell us the largest ship that can fit in there at the moment. The mining control is at the front and underneath the cockpit of the ship. So that has 2 stations in, one for mining and the other one for tractor beaming. This is mainly to allow the ship to mine Quantanium and refine it in the ship. So it's got a refinery there as well. Bam. You can go out and be independent forever. The neighbouring cargo and vehicle bay has a good amount of room and looks like it can store most vehicles that are currently in the game. Probably not the Ballista or Spartan, though. It didn't look like it was that size, though maybe if you sort of wedge it in. I want to try and fit a Nova tank in there. I do think one would probably fit in there. It does depend on the ramp and some other things. And obviously, these metrics might change. There is a solid-sized Tier 2 medical bay and even a viewing area for looking out into space. Cloud Imperium see the Odyssey as the multi-tool of spaceships and sort of a competitor to the Carrack for exploration, but also they did say the ultimate exploration ship. So the Odyssey is, however, not as good at pathfinding and scanning down certain things. The Carrack has drones and advanced tech for charting courses, mapping jump points, and you want a pathfinding ship, the Carrack's your ship. You want something that can do a bit of everything, can stay out in the verse indefinitely as you're an explorer, well, then the Odyssey is your boy. There was a fantastic email, apparently, that Xylo, the Cloud Imperium community director, sent to John Crew, the vehicle director, about the Carrack and the Odyssey, that they then shared online. Hey JC, my better looking, pod wielding, nearly double the cargo mind you, Carrack, would like to have a word with your limited view Rust Bucket Odyssey. You think the Odyssey is a Carrack killer? Ha! Nice try. If you think so, why don't you come explore some unmonitored space and we'll see how your Odyssey fares. The Carrack has always been geared to be the pinnacle of pathfinding. It is a ship designed to endure as a signature of its military heritage. It's designed to go into the harshest of places and endure. Its mission is singular, chart a course for others to follow. The Carrack was originally designed as a military vessel and then later released to the civilian market. The Odyssey was designed directly to cater for the civilian sector and, as outlined in Inside Star Citizen, is more generalized to reflect this. The Carrack still holds an important position with its unique ability to map jump points and pave the way so that ships like the Odyssey can follow and roam. In short, the Carrack is geared to address the hard science and comes with modularity and equipment the Odyssey does not. And while the Odyssey boasts technology the Carrack does not, that is just the nature of ship manufacturers competing with each other. The Carrack is still Bay. P.S. This has nothing to do with the Carrack losing to the Argo Cargo. I don't even care about that. I don't. So, really like that little email because that outlines a lot of stuff, and something that I suppose I missed in my evaluation and summary is that yes, the Carrack is potentially going to have the ability to be modular with its cargo pods being changed out for different things, maybe, probably, possibly. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens. And obviously the Carrack does have a larger amount of cargo space than the Odyssey does. Lots of questions still remain unanswered, but the Odyssey and the Carrack are supposed to be competitors, and they do specialize in different things. And a lot of people are just going to be like, well, I want the Odyssey because it's bigger and it has bigger ship room, and I can mine with it, and I can refuel and stay out forever. But a lot of people are going to want the Carrack because it's pathfinding-y, and you want to find jump points, you want to track down stuff. Well, maybe the Carrack is going to be a lot better, and maybe it's going to be able to survive harsher conditions than the Odyssey is. Just because the Odyssey is bigger does not mean it is better. I am, however, looking forward to those Q&As and more information coming later today. Boom! That's it for your vehicle updates this time. I'm glad they have said the Odyssey is different to the Carrack, and really happy that the Banu Merchantman is in active production, as well as, you know, tractor beam components actually seeing work. I hope that we see tractor beams with the cargo overhaul next year. Anyway, what do you think? Who is best, Carrack or Odyssey? Are you excited to see those ships getting work? What do you think that we will see next year in game? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Ho ho ho, I'm a fat man with a beard, and I'm gonna sneak down your chimney and give you
NordVPN. That's right, I'm BoredGamer. I am that fat man with a beard. And it's Nordmas. So what do you want in your stocking for Nordmas, little Timmy? I want NordVPN, with its useful security, privacy, and locational spoofing features. I also want a racing car set. Of course you do, but as I'm not sponsored by Racing Car Set, maybe you should shut your little mouth, Tim. Merry Nordmas! For December, we are giving away an Origin 400i with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. This is a luxury multi-role explorer ship for 1 to 3 players to run together. It's like a little yacht in space. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during December. If you'd like to further support the channel, please consider clicking that join button underneath my videos. You can also become a Patreon or even donate. Thank you so much for watching, please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.